What's going on, guys? It's Freeslane back here, and today I'm bringing you guys another video about Sun and Moon. And today we're gonna be looking at Z moves and are they worth it. So we actually don't know a whole lot about Z moves other than what we were given in the trailer on Monday, so let's take a quick look at that. So we see here a new way to attack, Z formation. We've seen some cool Hawaiian dance, then Pikachu surrounding itself with its Z power, then Pikachu unleashing its full force Z power, and then Gigavolt Havoc happens. And RIP Sandshrew. I mean, it's ironic. If it were a ground type, it would have survived, but it's not, so it's gonna get annihilated. That sucks. And then we take a look here, we got Rowlet using Bloom Doom. So, just talk about like a fashionable way to just take out your opponent. Poor Popplio there, just gonna get wrecked, just one-shotted, no questions asked. And then we see here Litten with Inferno Overdrive, and it's just gonna obliterate this Rowlet. I mean, like, seriously, you guys saw the flame, you guys saw Rowlet, that thing's gonna die. There's no way around it, there's just no way. And we see Hydro Vortex. So, Litten, underwater, gonna just get, like, destroyed by this whirlpool. And yeah, so that's basically all we saw from the trailer. So, what can we take apart from that trailer? Well, a few things. First of all, let's get something clear. Any Pokemon can use these moves. You just need to meet the requirements. I'm looking at you, Magikarp. That's right. You can use Splash and it'll work. Well, I mean, your Z move will, but you get the picture. So, how do you use these Z moves? Well, first of all, the trainer needs to have a Z ring, which apparently you're probably going to be able to collect sometime throughout the story. And you need to give a Pokemon the Z crystal of the same type as the move that you want to use. So you need to know a move with the same type as the crystal. For example, if you want to use Hydro Vortex, your Pokemon has to be holding the Water Z Crystal and needs to know a Water type move. So when can you use these Z moves? Well, we take a look at the Pokemon in the trailer and you can see that they're only level 15. So we know that for a fact that you can use these Z moves as early as level 15, most likely from whatever level. So there's probably no level requirement. So these Pokemon can probably use them straight up from level 1. So pretty much you hatch a Pokemon, it's probably ready to use a Z move. You just need to meet the requirements there. And Z moves can only be used once a battle. It seems like these are going to be some very overpowered moves. The real question is, how much base power are we looking at? Because, we have other moves that are really strong in general. And so we're thinking maybe somewhere around 200-ish, maybe even more. Like, that seems kind of reasonable for, where it would kind of stand at. Because keep in mind, you don't have a free item slot if you're going to want to use a Z move because you have to fill it with the Z crystal. So is it better to have a free item slot? So if you have a Life Orb or Choice Band or Choice Specs, are those going to do more damage? And even if you're not running those moves, other items such as Leftovers, Lumberry, Assault Vest, and even Mega Stones are definitely going to be very useful and probably not stuff you want to give up just to use a very powerful move once. But in most scenarios, you're not going to want to give this move to defensive Pokemon. You're probably going to want to give this to like your sweeper or your main attacker. But as we see so far in the current format of competitive battling, the Mega Pokemon seems to be the one that does the most damage and is the most threatening and key player on the trainer's team. So is it going to be worth, for example, giving up a Mega Stone? Probably not. But will it be worth maybe giving up Life Orb or a choice item? Maybe. And as I mentioned, there's other strong moves out there. So maybe you might not even need this move on a particular Pokemon. We have moves like Flare Blitz with 120 base power. Moves like Earthquake, which is very common and many Pokemon can use it with a base 100 power. Solar Beam, 120 base power. Draco Meteor, 130 base power, but you have to deal with the -2 special attack drop. And then the next big question is, are these moves physical or are they special attacks? So will the fighting type Z move, for example, be physical, and then, for example, we saw Gigavolt Havoc, the electric type Z move, will that be a special attack? Or does it depend on the move being used and not the type? So, for example, if you use Inferno Overdrive on, let's say, Charizard, will it be a physical attack if you use Flare Blitz, but a special attack if you use Flamethrower instead? Or how is this going to work? So does it work by type or does it work by the move? And what about status moves? Do status moves also get the same effect? Can you use a Z move by using a status move? Or does it only apply to direct attacks? And if it does apply to status moves, will that move turn into a special or physical attack? 99% of all Pokemon can learn Toxic, so pretty much if status moves do turn into Z moves, then every Pokemon can pretty much have a poison type Z move, which is a great fairy counter because as we know, fairy types are probably the most overpowered type right now in the game. Same thing goes for Taunt, Thunder Wave, and other types of moves. So another question is, if you're using status moves, will the moves retain their side effects? So if I use Thunder Wave and I'm holding the Electric Z Crystal and it causes the move to turn into Gigavolt Havoc, will I still be able to paralyze my opponents with that move? So if a Pokemon with the ability Prankster uses a status move like Toxic or Taunt or Thunder Wave, will it get priority? Will it have the side effect? And what about other things like priority moves? So if I use Mach Punch and it turns into the fighting type Z move, then do I still get priority on it, or is it just a completely new move and ignores everything that just happened? Is this going to be like Mega Evolution where you decide when the corresponding move turns into the Z move, or is it always going to be the first time you use the move? So we take a look at a Pokemon like Charizard. Charizard is a great example because it gets access to Tailwind. Now Tailwind is a move that doubles the speed of you and your allies, so you probably want to get Tailwind off as soon as you can. But if Charizard is holding the Flying type Z Crystal, when it uses Tailwind the first time, will it turn into the Flying type Z move, or do you decide, yeah, I want to use Tailwind first turn, second turn I want to actually go for the Flying type Z move? And I just use Charizard as an example, but there are so many other Pokemon that have such wide move pools and they can really take advantage of all the moves, whether they're attacking moves or status moves or whatever the case may be. But these Pokemon can definitely just do either ridiculous amounts of damage or have some crazy coverage. And let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that any type of move will be able to be used for Z moves, or do you think it's only going to be direct attacks that get turned into Z moves? How much damage do you guys think these moves are going to do, and do you think it's going to be worth it, or do you think it's better to just run any other item on your Pokemon? But that's about it. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please leave a like, and if you didn't, feel free to leave a dislike, but let me know why down in the comments below so I can improve the quality of my videos and make content for everyone to enjoy. But that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.